this new Pokemon V-STAR counters the best decks in format. Roll the intro. What's going on, everybody? Hitmonchanning here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game, online deck tech, and today I wanted to cover Alolan Vulpix V-STAR. I think this card is super underrated and super powerful when you combine it with the right combination of cards. I've decided to put Alolan Vulpix V-STAR in some sort of a Kyurem Palkia toolbox deck, and I have been having great success with this deck. I think it is really, really strong, and I'm going to cover why. So why is Alolan Vulpix V-STAR worth the hype? Well, when this card was originally revealed, people saw it as kind of squishy and not too great. It has the Snow Mirage attack for 160 for a water and 2 colorless. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, and during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon that have an ability. So, Cramorant's can't damage you, Blissey V can't damage you, Kyurem can't damage you, Palkia V-STAR can't damage you, Arceus V-STAR can't damage you. So many pretty popular Pokemon are unable to damage your Vulpix. Even Lugia V-STAR can't damage you. Very, very important. So there's a lot of really strong cards in the format right now that have abilities, and Alolan Vulpix V-STAR just kind of walls them out. Now, it also has the Silvery Snowstar V-STAR power, 70 times the amount of Pokemon V your opponent has in play. So if they've got 2 Pokemon V in play, you're doing 140, 3 you're doing 210, so on and so forth. If they have 4 Pokemon V in play, such as when you're versing Mew, you can just do 280, or if they have a bunch of Pokemon V, probably usually have 5 to 6 Pokemon V, you can just instantly one-shot a Mew VMAX very, very easily. And for free, it doesn't cost any energy. So that's what Alolan Vulpix V-STAR does. And now, why is this card really good in the Kyurem in the Kyurem style deck? I'm just going to go over these cards really quick. I did another Kyurem deck, which you can check out right here if you want to. But basically, Kyurem has Glaciated World, so you can discard the top card of your deck, and if it's water energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon. Then Max Frost does 120, and you can discard any number of water from Kyurem. It does 50 more for each you discarded in this way. So unlimited damage cap on Kyurem. And Palkia V-STAR, everybody loves Palkia V-STAR, or hates it, depending on what you play. It has Subspace Swell, 60 plus 20 for each benched Pokemon, yours and your opponent's, and the very powerful Star Portal V-STAR power. You can attach up to 3 water energy cards from your discard pile to your water Pokemon in any way you like. So those are our main 3 attackers. We have 2/2 line of each of them. Now, the whole reason this deck works so well is that you can basically account for any situation. Like, quite literally any situation. You're facing a Pokemon with an ability, Alolan Vulpix V-STAR. Or if you need to have a Shred attack, use Snow Mirage. Gets through things like Miltank, also very important. You need to knock out a VMAX, you go with Kyurem VMAX. Or take a big one-shot on a V-STAR, you go with Kyurem. And Alolan Vulpix V-STAR is also a really good counter to Mew. That's why we don't play any Drapion in this deck. And then Origin Form Palkia is your main support Pokemon with Star Portal, but Subspace Swell acts as just a really good high damage attack. Now, we also have one Oranguru with Primate Wisdom to help stack our deck and use Kyurem's ability very effectively. We have a Crobat for draw, a Lumineon for finding our supporters, and Radiant Greninja to draw cards with concealed cards. We can also use Moonlight Shuriken, which is the sniping potential of this deck, to take out cards like Comfey or any other like Bidoofs, whatever, any other little small single prize basic Pokemon our opponent might have in play. And now we're playing 1 Battle VIP Pass, 2 Capacious Bucket. We have 4 Cross Switcher in this build, which is going to be acting as our primary source of boss's orders. Energy Retrieval, Heavy Ball, Lost Vacuum. You might be wondering why we have all these 1 counts of item cards, and that's because Irida can search out a water Pokemon and an item card and put them into our hand. Now, we're also playing 2 Choice Belt and 2 Wash Energy. Those are the 2 main other cards in this deck. Choice Belt increases your damage to V Pokemon by 30, as you may know, but Wash Energy is really cool because it stops effects of attacks. So you put this on Alolan Vulpix V-STAR, and that Alolan Vulpix is going to be quite a beast. It can't get damage counters put onto it. It can't get affected by special conditions from effects of attacks. Wash Energy, very good. We play 2 of those and 8 basic water energy. And other than that, the list is very simple Kyurem list. Like, we have a Lost Vacuum, we have a 4 Quick Ball, 2 Ultra Ball Pokemon Search, but the only other different card really is we're playing a single Lake Acuity in here, because it can actually make our Alolan Vulpix a little bit beefier, and the more important thing is it can make our Kyurems a bit beefier, bumping that up to 350 HP effectively with Lake Acuity in here. So Lake Acuity is really, really strong in this deck. It makes our Alolan Vulpix just a little bit tankier so they can't knock us out with certain Pokemon. As well as it makes Palkia go up to 300 HP. So the Lake Acuity is really, really strong, I think. We also play Lost City to deal with Lost Box decks, and Training Court to help us get our energy back. We have Melony to help us attach some energy. You know, like all these cards, very basic Kyurem deck, but I wanted to spend a lot of time going through the actual deck list because I think it's very important to understand what you have access to in order to make this deck work to the fullest of its potential. So we're going to hop into some games right now and see if we can get some dubs with the Alolan Vulpix V-STAR. My opponent is calling the coin flip here. I always say tails and never fails. We got heads, but we still won, so I'm just going to absolutely go first. With this deck, going first is very, very important. And this would have been an insane hand if we had a basic Pokemon, because we have Battle VIP right in hand. Unfortunately, you know, we can't use it if we don't find it right off the bat here. Now this hand is a lot worse. We're just starting with Lumineon and that's it. This would have been a great hand for going second, but we're going to have to take a little bit of a delay here. My opponent playing Eternatus, we actually can't do anything. We're just going to have to hit done. Like, this is a really rough starting hand, I will say. Irida next turn, though, can actually help us out quite a bit. We can get some Pokemon, get a Pokemon search card, make a quick ball, and start getting actually set up here. See, if this was our going second hand, I would be in a lot more comfortable of a position. But my opponent would do discard an Eternatus VMAX, getting rid of the Eternatus V, put it on the bench to get that nice gold version of the card. Eternatus is not a deck you see much anymore, but I still think it has some potential because you can reach those high numbers thanks to cards like Choice Belt. Now you can get to 300 damage. Galarian Zigzagoon gets you to 310, which is like, you're already knocking out Mew. The only card you should be worried about is Kyurem VMAX, which is easy to kind of deal with in this matchup, but we're going to get Marnied here. For better or for worse, we got two Iridas at the bottom of the deck, as well as a single Wash Energy, so we might get into a pretty bricked hand here. The Rock Sand, not going to be helpful. We're really relying on a decent draw from the get-go. Okay, we have Quick Ball, so we're going to be okay. Alolan Vulpix V-STAR, or V, going to be very good in this matchup. We're going to bench both of them, get rid of Rock Sand, and we're going to grab ourselves the Crobat V. We're really hoping to get a good setup here. Maybe another Irida or some sort of supporter. We do get Irida. We can play Palkia down. We're going to go for the Irida. Grab ourselves. Now I'm just thinking, what do we need? We can grab Alolan Vulpix, and we can grab, what's it called? We'll grab a Capacious Bucket. Now I'm planning in advance here. We're not going to put the Choice Belt down, but we'll put the bucket and attach this here. And now we're just going to pass. Because next turn, I want an Irida for an Ultra Ball, discard the energy, Palkia V-STAR, Star Portal them onto the Alolan Vulpix because we have the V-STAR in hand. And then Eternatus can't damage us because it has that Eternal Zone ability. So Alolan Vulpix is going to be able to just clean house. Plus, Silvery Snowstar can do a bunch of damage and effectively one-shot an Eternatus VMAX. Because look how many V-Pokemon they have in play, right? And I think we can go for two plays here. We can either, if they don't get a good setup, we can just destroy them in one go with Silvery Snowstar, or Snow Mirage them just little by little, taking a knockout within 3 turns. I mean, we have the Choice Belt, so within 2 turns, we can just Snow Mirage for a pretty clean knockout. Now, my opponent has that Hisuian Samurott V as well, but that's still okay because they have that V-STAR power ability, so all their Pokemon in play are going to have abilities at some point, which is really good for us considering they can't damage us. We got that Wash Energy on. If we get the Wash Energy on, I should say, we can get we can stop worrying about that Coughing's what's it called? We can stop worrying about Coughing's or Weezing's poison. But we get a pretty decent hand here, so I'm gonna need to decide how to do this. We don't have any Water Energy in the discard, so this is going to be a little bit interesting now. We needed to kind of bank on finding a Water Energy for the play to work. So we're going to Irida for sure here. But what we might do is go for... Oh man. See, this is tough. This is a tough call now. Because we can try and set up more. Oh, we can grab like Quick Ball and find Oranguru. I think that might be what we do. Maybe we'll grab Quick Ball, grab Origin Form Palkia. Because we don't have Radiant Greninja in here. Or we can grab Hisuian Heavy Ball. That's what we're going to do. Grab Hisuian Heavy Ball, and we'll grab our Greninja out of the prizes. So that can get placed down. We can conceal the cards, and maybe still pull off the combo if we find the right combo of cards. Now, we didn't quite get it, but next turn will be okay. We're gonna Rotom Phone here. And what do we want next turn? Irida, I'm guessing Irida. Well, we can get Cross Switcher. But this turn we actually can knock out a Eternatus VMAX. However, that will impact our matchup down the line. So I'm gonna refrain from doing that. And I think I'll just grab Irida here, just to be safe. We'll attach this energy and pass it to my opponent. So I think that the smart play, like the funny play is just Silvery Snowstar and do 70 times times 6. Like that's the funniest play that we can do. But is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. It really is not worth it. So they're gonna switch, and we're gonna get Marnied as well. So that's why putting the Irida on top was good instead of that Cross Switcher, because with the Cross Switcher, we wouldn't be able to do it now because we only have one in hand. So we get the Irida, Melony. We're in a pretty decent spot now, I will say. My opponent likely gonna knock out that Lumineon unless they have 2 Cross Switchers somehow. I'm getting rid of a Temple of Sinnoh and Darkness Energy, which is actually good for us. They're just gonna whiff it, so they're looking for another Pokemon V probably, and out comes that Moltres. Oh, they have, okay, they were planning to whiff it because they have that Crobat. I was thinking they were gonna look for the Crobat, but now they got a lot of Pokemon V in play where we can just kind of win the game at some point because all of their Pokemon in play have abilities. And now this is the time where Alolan Vulpix V-Star gets to shine. They can take 2 prizes all they want. That's fine with me. You know, we'll put Vulpix up here. We can go ahead and Melony to guarantee the attack. And now I'm thinking, I don't know, I want to concealed cards first here. I want to try and get a Kyurem into play if I can, just to have another option for an attacker. So we'll bring the Kyurem down. And if Vulpix gets knocked out, we Star Portal to Kyurem and wreak havoc. But I think I'm just going to Lost Vacuum. We'll get rid of this Palkia V-Star. And I want to get rid of their Choice Belt for the future. And boom, Snow Mirage doing 190 damage. And we can't get damaged by ability Pokemon next turn. So none of their Pokemon on the board can damage us. Have fun dealing with that, Eternatus. We literally just attack with Vulpix 4 times and win the game. Like that's it. They have to boss around us in order to take discards. Oh, you're gonna Avery me. That is a very easy choice. Goodbye. So no boss coming out this turn, which means this Eternatus gets knocked out unless they find a Hiding Dark Energy or a Switch or something. I mean, they're getting pretty thin in their deck. They've only got 13 cards left, getting another Eternatus V, so that's 12. So not too much more my opponent can do. They're going to Dire Flame Wings. That doesn't matter, though, because Galarian Moltres also has an ability, so they can't deal with Alolan Vulpix V-Star. They're going to have to boss around it. That's fine. That's whatever. Oh, they're going to Shopping Center. Interesting stadium play. And they can try and Dread End all they want. Ain't going to work. And now we can get that Wash Energy here. And I want to put Kyurem down, and we're going to Irida first. And for Irida, we are going to grab a, we do have a Bucket left, and we have a Oranguru. So we're going to grab Bucket, and for Pokemon-wise, we don't really need much else. We can set up another Kyurem, actually, and get a little Kyurem chain going. So we can Capacious Bucket here, and we will Primate Wisdom this energy back on top. And now we can Glaciated World, and we can start prepping our Kyurem to go crazy. We'll actually Wash Energy the Kyurem so it can't get dealt damaged by poison. We can draw with Greninja, concealed cards, getting more. There's another Wash Energy, which is really good. And now we currently have 2 energy in the discard. That's fine. Snow Mirage taking the KO here. 190 damage, easy peasy, no sweat. We can get our prize card, which is going to be a Cross Switcher, which is good. Lake Acuity, which is even better, and Water Energy, which is also very useful. So at this stage in the game, they can't deal with Vulpix. They're not knocking out Kyurem unless they have a million scoop-up nets that they can use here. And now this, if they're not damaging to knock out Vulpix here, we can literally Silvery Snowstar for 280, enough damage. And they're going to boss up Palkia. Okay, take out Palkia, that's fine. We just win. Oh, they're not even going to get the KO. Oh, man. That's tough. Anyways, we're gonna Primate Wisdom here. I mean, we can still very easily win the game. We just Glaciated World. Attach to Palkia, and then we can do this. I mean, yeah, I think it's just we go for the Silvery Snowstar here. We'll even play the Lake Acuity down. And boom, Silvery Snowstar for, get this, 520 damage. We literally used Alolan Vulpix. We attacked with Alolan Vulpix 3 times. 3 times, and that won us the entire game. That's absolutely insane. So against decks like this that kind of don't respect ability lock, or ability damage lock, I should say, because you can't damage with ability Pokemon, Alolan Vulpix just has a field day. My opponent is calling the coin flip. I mean, I didn't even have to say it. Tails never fails. We got Tails. We get to go first. It is a good day here. Starting Kyurem. We have a pretty decent starting hand, actually. I'm not too upset about that. Play Kyurem down. Depending on the matchup, we're going to get to see what we want to get going. Clefairy. Yeah, we want Vulpix for sure. Like, we absolutely want Vulpix here. So we're going to grab our good friend Vulpix. And get these energies. We'll attach the Vulpix and done. Now the next best card we can get would be an Ultra Ball. So we can get Fish, so we can get, what's it called? So we can get Melony, so then we can hopefully move around over here. I mean, next worst case scenario, we Rapid Freeze. They're gonna Escape Rope us, interesting. So Alolan Vulpix in the active is not what we want to see, not at all. Would have liked to see a Battle VIP pass in that hand, I will say, but, you know, live and you learn. A Level Ball coming up from my opponent, so they're going to be able to get a bunch of their Clefairies out and attach Retreat, Moonwatching Party, switch. They need another Clefairy on their board, though, so with only 2 Clefairy, there's not much of a threat to us. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's really good. We get Choice Belt, which we don't need. We can just attach. And I guess White... Well, no, the optimal play is to bring this one up. And just White drop. Because that way they have to switch it and they can't attack. Whereas if we kept the other one in the active, they would have to... Like, they'd be able to switch into it and attack. So they can move Watching Party here. That's fine. Attach an energy. If they can get into another one, they can move Watching Party again. Oh, they can't even. Okay, awesome. And we get Irida. Okay, so now we're chilling. Vulpix V-Star, and we have the energy in hand. Who else do we want to grab here? Do we want to grab an Ultra Ball? Yeah, I think we do. Grab an Ultra Ball, maybe grab Crobat or something. Vulpix V-Star is going to make its debut. And we'll grab this energy and discard it again. So we don't have to get rid of Cross Switcher. Because, hey, Cross Switcher, always a fun card to use, always a good card to have at your disposal. Crobat V coming out to play. Get us some more cards. No Pokemon. We do get the Cross Switcher, so we have that. We can get these Water Energy, and we can set up Kyurem if we need to. But that's okay. Snow Mirage is going to do all the work for us. Now, we can't be damaged by these pesky ability Pokemon. The best part about this is they can't even play Path to the Peak to turn off their abilities because they're single prize Pokemon. Like, they're basics. They're single prize basic fellas. So, you can come out, can't even damage us because it has Mysterious Tail. And that's, I think, where Vulpix really shines is, you know, people always think that you're always going to be versing the best decks. Like, oh, does this deck beat the best decks? Sometimes you don't have to beat only the best decks. If you can beat a lot of the rogue decks, you can do very well with a card that most people see as, like, subpar, for example. Like, you're really doing a lot against the current format of cards. Now, the only thing I wish Alolan Vulpix V-Star had was more HP. If it had 260, that would be manageable because you can Lake Acuity and Gardevoir, Lake Acuity, Big Charm, yada yada yada. Oh, we get a Palkia, which is good. We can actually Melony to Palkia, start getting that fella set up. We got a really, really decent play going here. I wanted to just stack the deck for next turn. I think we'll just do like this. I want the Glaciated World, but that's okay. And we just Snow Mirage. Goodbye, Mew. What you gonna do? And, like, you know, there's nothing that this deck can really do. They kind of just got to sit here and hope that they find their bosses to boss around. But we have Cross Switcher, so we can just pull something up and then knock it out whenever we please. So that is the good part about this. But we'll see what my opponent does. They're going to keep moon watching. I know there's the Wyrdeer V coming out soon. Like, they're going to have the Wyrdeer V, I'm saying. But that's fine, because that also has an ability, and it also can't damage Alolan Vulpix V-STAR. So we have Greninja now. We can conceal the cards, get rid of an energy. Maybe we can find a Oranguru here. We don't find a Oranguru, but we do find Melony. Or we have Melony's. I'm going to play Irida, though, because Oranguru is right there. So I can grab a Quick Ball. And as for a water Pokemon, I can grab Palkia V-STAR. And we can get that V-STAR all set and ready to go. Get rid of, I don't think we need both these Melonies. Get rid of a Melony, get a Oranguru. And now we can put this on top of the deck and start getting powered up with Glaciated World. The best part about this is we can use Radiant Greninja to just win us the game at some point. We have a really good setup going over here. We are going to Snow Mirage and just keep stalling out. If they don't bench anything else next turn, we can win just with Radiant Greninja. So I'm very excited for that, I will say. But we'll see even if we get a Water Energy. Another Kyurem VMAX, that's all right. And now, I hope you guys understand why I took so much time explaining the deck before playing it, because knowing what you have access to can allow for incredible checkmate scenarios like this. I mean, granted, you know, reversing Clefairy here, a deck that completely relies on abilities and can't damage Alolan Vulpix. Like, yeah, so like there's nothing they could do there. Next turn I would just retreat, Star Portal to Greninja, knock both of them out and win. So, I mean, hey, pretty good progress with Alolan Vulpix V-STAR overall, I would say. So what do you think of my Alolan Vulpix V-STAR deck? I'm very proud of this deck. I actually really like it a lot. It's got a lot of options. It is really, really fun to play. If I were to make any critiques or changes, I would say maybe adding Drapion is good, because as I talked about in the video, Silvery Snowstar is really good against Mew. But if they have that return KO, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble if you don't have a good bench setup. Drapion could be worth it, but other than that, like, I really don't think many changes need to be made. The only changes could be preference. Like if you wanted to add a big charm to make your Kyurems and Vulpixes even tankier with Lake Acuity, or if you want to remove Lake Acuity entirely, go for a different, more offensive build. That's up to you. I just really like the way that this build plays. It's like so much fun, and that's basically going to be it. So thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what do you think of this deck? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What would you keep and what would you change? And subscribe to the channel. I post 2 new Pokemon trading card game videos every single week here on the Hitmonchanting channel, and tick that notification bell so you never miss out on any of them. And with all that said and done, Hitmonchanting out.